man suddenly heard something downstairs. So he immediately put down his glass of wine, went to the bookshelf, took out a record from it, took it out of the bag, then put it into the oven and adjusted the temperature, then went to the balcony to hide. No sooner had they done this than a heavily armed mob broke down the door and started searching the house. The next thing you know, there's an alarm going off. The leader of the group slowly opens the oven. Immediately afterwards, the record in the oven exploded, sending the thugs flying. The violent explosion directly lifted the man off the balcony. He smashed hard into the car downstairs, and this awesome man's name is Bill. A former CIA agent abroad. His duty is to help the government to deal with the troubles that are not good to come forward. But now he has resigned and retired and has become a skilled mason, specializing in the restoration of famous old buildings. After work that day, Bill went to a pub to relax with a drink when he heard a familiar voice. He turns around and is the current director of the CIA. And the reason why he found Bill was that he wanted him to do a favor for himself. A few days ago, a reporter from the German Times was murdered in his American flat. The scene was clean, obviously a veteran. But Agent Kate, after reviewing the surrounding surveillance, found a clue. Kate was surprised when she saw the man's face. She hurriedly reported the situation to the director, Jack. Jack was shocked when he saw it. The man's name was Claude. He was a former CIA covert operative who had successfully carried out many missions. But 3 years ago, because he refused to carry out orders, he was executed by the CIA on special authorization. But now he's reappeared. He's got something to hide. Jack has no choice but to find a retired agent, Bill, because he was the one who carried out the hunting mission back then. But when Jack told him that Claude was still alive, Bill looked incredulous. Claude was one of his men, and he was the one who killed Claude, so he thought Jack had mistaken him for someone else. But Jack threw a file in front of him. The name of the person on it was Popov, a notorious smuggler in Russia. Bill is familiar with this Moncada ads. A year ago, this Popov had an accident while out at sea, but a photo was found next to his body that was given to Claude when the CIA sent him to assassinate Popov 3 years ago. But now it turns up 2 years later. What's the meaning of these? And there's been a recent spate of killings of overseas journalists with an interest in the United States. Kate guesses that the other party is trying to frame the CIA for all this, and this person is probably Claude. In order to find out the truth, Jack is going to send Kate to Greece with Bill. If it is confirmed that Claude is behind all this, then let him disappear from the world again. The man returned to his construction site at night. Suddenly, images of him and his children playing on the beach came to his mind. The next moment, he regained his senses. He was hit by a bullet. The bullets kept firing at him, and he quickly crawled to avoid the attacks. Bill hurriedly hid behind a concrete pillar not far away, pulled a toolkit from the side, quickly treated his wound with duct tape, then took out the speed buckle and hooked it up, got up and jumped directly from the roof of the building. Just as he landed on the ground, the killer's bullets came one after the other. Bill didn't dare to hesitate. He could only hide again. He threw the goggles on the ground and watched the killers through the lenses. When the two killers came to the goggles, they realized that Bill had disappeared. Before they could react, Bill suddenly killed one of them with a hammer blow and then disappeared again amidst the others' intense bullets. He then throws his helmet to distract the killers and at the same time throws the hammer in his hand to kill him. At that moment, the last assassin also raised his gun and approached him. Bill suddenly crashed through the wall and jumped on the killer. The two of them struggled together without saying a word. Bill picks up the shovel on the ground and thrusts it at the killer. Killer also seized the opportunity to press Bill down. With his fist towards Bill smashed up, they fought from the platform to the slope. As a result, due to the slippery conditions, the two almost fell down. They were both hanging in the air. Bill asked the killer who sent him. Killer just said Claude's name. Bill punched the killer down. Just after he got out of the crisis, the cable machine on the roof suddenly broke and fell down. Luckily, it just brushed past him and fell down. After what happened, Bill finally accepted the fact that Claude was still alive. The next morning, he and Kate left for Greece. On the plane, Kate was checking Claude's profile and noticed that Claude was married and had a lovely daughter. But in the next photo, it showed both of them dead, the cause of death unknown. This makes Kate a little confused. After disembarking from the plane, the two men drove a small car provided by the Air Force to a dilapidated factory in the suburbs. After seeing the man in front of her, Bill was a little happy. What kind of relationship do they have with each other? What will happen to the men afterwards? I'm Zero Sense Film. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment and subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video.